against this encroaching darkness and fight for what is ours. It is easy to destroy great things. It is far more difficult to make them. The enemies of civilization are only capable of the former. They are only capable of destroying great things. All they know is destruction. But we have built great things together. We have done it time and again. We know what we must do, and now we must do it.
Donald was the young man who was going to conquer Manhattan.
He takes chances that would make a less daring man shudder.
To think about the arc of where he's been in, it's like some sort of mythical story or something.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged.
My God, that guy's got resilience.
Those who deal with you underestimate you and live to regret it.
It's always good to be underestimated. It is not about politics. It's about our love for this great country, America, and we're not going to let it fail. I will fight like no one has ever fought before.
Trump is the bodyguard of Western civilization.
You want to talk about a fighter, a walk through fire? He's an absolute savage.
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.
Here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed. 1 winner. 42 losers. I eat losers for breakfast. Breakfast? Maybe I should have had breakfast. A little brekkie could be good for me. No. Stay focused. Speed. Faster than fast. Quicker than quick. I am lightning.
Hey, Lightning! You ready?
Oh yeah, lightning's ready.
Up the pit stop, first ever pit stop here at the White House. What an incredible experience, and this is all to celebrate America's 250th.
We can't wait to see you August 23rd. What do we have to wait for, David?
This was just a little taste of the pit stops that we're going to have in a race scenario. We're all going to be pushing the limits, everything you can. It's going to be beautiful chaos is how I would explain it. Goosebumps, it's everything you're going to want to be. It's the best way to celebrate America's 250th, so make sure you're there.
On the Fringe with Dan, RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. A lot going on in the world. Certainly super excited about what's coming up tonight. Going to be talking a bit about the election stuff in my live show today. Again, I left some things out, actually. I'm starting to get smart about that. But I get so excited when I get news. I want to share it with you guys. But I'm like, all right, this one we can put it off till the 3 o'clock show today. So definitely check out the Hot Topics show, even if you're not there live. It's worth it. There's some good stuff. Deep dive. A little more into the nuanced, a little more into the strange, a little more into the, here's Dan. So who knows? You might like it. Senate GOP, they're poised for the largest turnover of the millennium due to Trump primaries and retirements. And basically us getting rid of all the shitty people. That's what that is. That's how they phrase it. That's the nice way of saying it, but that's not what's going on. John Thune talking about the SAVE Act. Again, people are really pissed at him. Wherever you're at, I could care less, frankly. No offense, but I really don't care. He's doing his part, I think. I don't think he can force the votes. Now, what's funny is he keeps saying we don't have 50 votes. Now, I just want to point out to everybody, we have what, 53 or 54 senators that are Republican, right? 53, I think, right? Right? So we have 53 senators. Why can't we get 50 votes? We have 53 Republican senators. Why can't we get 50 votes? They keep saying we can't get 50 votes. Why? And even John's like, oh, all the Republicans, we're for it. No, you're not. Not all of them, because then we'd have 53 votes, wouldn't we, John Thune? Now, again, I don't blame John. He's not at the name-calling phase yet. It's likely the assholes that are leaving, but keep all that in mind, because, again, I think people very zero-sum thinking, and people just don't get the bigger picture. You got to factor that in.
I guess I would start by saying that, reconciliation, as you know, is very different in the House than it is in the Senate. So we'll see what they're going to try and mark it up in the committee, and we'll see if they can report it, get it across the floor of the House, and what it all contains. The numbers that you were mentioned that have been put out there in terms of what the funding level would be for defense and other things are things that I'm sure our members are going to want to have a lot of input on. I mean, we just had a meeting, as you know, where these issues are starting to get talked about a lot more, and I think the defense number, the ag number, whether or not it's offset, what are the implications over here with respect to the bird rule and the restrictions that we have on how reconciliation is used. Do we have 50 votes for something? I mean, I think those are all valid questions, and those questions will be answered in due time. I've said all along, as you know, that it's an option, but it's not certainly the only option, and it all in the end comes down to whether you have the math, whether you can get 50 votes to pass it in the end, and whether you've got 50 votes to defeat any poison pill amendments that might be offered. And so those are all questions that will have to be answered in due time.
Leader Thune, Senators Mike Lee and Rick Scott are both calling on the Senate to stay in session and bypass any recesses or weekends to get the Save America Act across the finish line. Is that something that you're open to and would support?
Well, if I thought there was a path to getting a positive result or a positive outcome, I'd be willing to do just about anything, because I think we are all here in favor of the Save America Act. The folks that have consistently block voted against it are all the Democrats in the United States Senate. And I think that's unlikely to change. And it's also very unlikely that the Senate Republicans are going to vote to get rid of the legislative filibuster. So we've had 5 votes on it. We have voted on the entire Save America Act. We have voted on photo ID as a separate issue. We have voted on photo ID and registration, or citizenship to register. We've had that amendment. We've had a vote on boys competing in girls sports. We've had 5 now votes on the Save America Act or individual components of it, and none of which got a single Democrat. To me, the issue here is the Democrats, and we ought to be going after them for opposing something that's popular across this country, not just with Republicans, but with Democrats as well.
Yet we still can't get all 53 of the Republicans to vote for this, or for or against any poison pills. This is what he's saying. We can't count on about 4 of the Republican senators. We cannot count on them to vote properly. That's what John Thune is saying. We cannot count on 4 Republican senators to vote the way they should. Here's J.D. Vance schooling a reporter about the Save America Act. He did a pretty good job. I love when they call reporters out on their loaded questions. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You mentioned that the administration's top priority right now is passing the Save America Act. Even if it were passed tomorrow, there's not enough time for it to be implemented before voting starts for the November midterm elections. That being said, will the administration support the results of the midterm elections come November, regardless of what they look like?
Well, look, of course, we're going to support the results of the midterm elections. We think we're going to win, but ultimately that's up to the American people. But we also think we have to do everything that we can to discourage cheating. Because you will hear Democrats sometimes say, and I love this line, I can't help but laugh at it, cheating isn't that frequent in American elections. Any frequency at all. is a problem. A single ballot cast illegally in an American election is in fact the theft of the ballot from another American citizen, from an American citizen who deserves to be able to vote. So you're right, the elections in some ways, the process is already getting started for 2026, but you don't pass a piece of legislation because you think you're going to immediately benefit from it. You pass a piece of legislation because you think the American people are going to benefit from it over the long haul. We have to do it. Save America is not mainly about 2026, to your question. It's actually about saving America's elections well into the future.
Last question. Tomorrow the president's going to give this big speech on the elections. A lot of Republicans here want him to focus on the 2026 midterms and not to relitigate his claims about the 2020 elections. Would you encourage him to steer clear of those unfounded claims that he is actually the true victor of the 2020 elections?
I love these questions, the unfounded claims. You're basically assuming an answer in the very question that you ask. Manu, what I'd say is we can do a lot. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We're doing so many things. We got the one big beautiful bill passed that cut taxes on Social Security, cut taxes on tips, cut taxes on overtime, delivered thousands of additional dollars into the pockets of the average American family. We're very proud of that. It's one of the things that we talked about in there was we need to talk about it more. We need to tell the American people all the amazing benefits that are in those working families' tax cuts. We also have a lot of other things going on in the country. The president's going to talk about a number of things tomorrow night. I'm obviously not going to get ahead of his remarks, but we can talk about a number of the American people's problems. We can solve a number of the American people's problems. And that's exactly what we're going to work with our House colleagues and our Senate friends to do.
Yeah, solve problems is what they're supposed to do. Most of the time they're just causing them. Well, hopefully that'll change. We'll see how that all plays out in the big picture. Former Attorney General John Ashcroft kind of schools Adam Shifty Shift Pencil Neck Watermelon head a little bit.
Mr. Blanche has said that he believes the president has both the right and the duty to use the Justice Department to go after his enemies. Do you subscribe to that view?
Thank you, Senator. I believe that the Attorney General of the United States has the right and responsibility to enforce the law uniformly. And if the law has been broken by the president's enemies, he has a duty. They do not become exempt from following the law merely by their enmity to the president of the United States. As a matter of fact, the people who break the law are in enmity with the people of the United States whose expression of what is the law has been developed in this body and the Congress of the United States. So we used to call people who break the law public enemies.
Well, Mr.
So my view is that whether a person has been a political supporter or not of the president of the United States is not the determining factor regarding prosecution. It's whether a person has violated the law, and in enforcing the law, the Attorney General is carrying out the will expressed in the Congress.
The password is enmity. Dude, you gotta love that word. Gotta love that word. Enmity. Good word. That's a word I'm gonna try to figure out how to use in frequent conversations now. You're talking to someone and they're say something you disagree with, and what are you trying to be in enmity with me? Yeah, I'll work on it. Needless to say, craziness, I say. SpaceX shares, they fell below $135, the IPO price. We said they would. They'll stay under for a while. They especially had a big old bond. Anyway, SpaceX took on a bunch of debt, and continued a bunch of debt. Really is the truthful way to say it, but whatever the case is. Huge IPO. Big chunk of debt they did right after the IPO. That was not an accident, timing-wise, but whatever. It's down below the $135 price. It's probably going to dip down a bit below that. We've still got two other big, giant IPOs. 401ks are the first people that hop in, but, they're the last people to hop in, I should actually say, right? And the way these IPOs work is the people that got in early are the ones that get bought out initially. They're the initial investors, the early on investors, and they're the ones that get rewarded with the IPO buyout, which means you're going to come in, guarantee, and pay, in the case, $135 a share. Well, they might have paid way less than that, but they're guaranteed a buyout. So a big part of these IPOs is people's 401ks and IRAs. They have to buy into them. They've changed the law so these companies can become so they can be on the NASDAQ, which is where the 401k and IRAs kind of ultimately have to invest. And some would say they don't have to, Dan. It's like, I don't know if they have to or not, but they do, always. So they take your money and you buy in at the end of the deal. It's just not good for you. It's a good time to think about protecting. The prices of gold and silver are still going down because of the uncertainty, which I love. I think it's crazy. And this is the time to buy it. I don't know how much longer they can hold the prices down, which is going to be great. I mean, again, it's fantastic. Silver's at 55. This is fantastic. It's just the time to get back in for any of the people. You guys trust me. Watch what happens. There's all sorts of stuff that has to happen in the future. The prices can't stay here. They're doing this intentionally, and it's paper contracts and a lot of other nonsense, and it makes no sense. Price of oil's even going down. It's only gotten up to 80, but again, nothing matches what it should. This has always been the big point. None of these numbers are real. They're actually real. This is the time to get out of your 401k or IRA. If you've got one of those going on, I do highly recommend you let my good friends at Goldco help you get out of this nonsense. They are incredible. They're the best at it. They have a number of suppliers. They're going to get you the best prices in the big picture, and you're going to be able to move over more funds and get more precious metals. And it's actual physical metals. They put it into a trust. It's actually yours. You can say, hey, give me the metals. That's considered a payout. You'll get taxed and penalized, so please understand that. This is really a better idea if you can sit on it for a little while we get through this craziness. This will protect your wealth. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Protect your wealth. While they're trying to take it away from you, you're going to get up to 10% free silver by filling this out, hitting the button. And if you've got some time, 20 minutes, it's not going to take that long on the call, I don't think, but if you can call within 20 minutes, putting the numbers in, ask for the 5 grams of free silver. They're giving that out as well. I want you to check it out. This is the best way to protect your buying power, and ultimately that's what it comes down to. Back in 1915, right? This cost $30. You could buy me a handmade tailored suit, both of these, okay? Today, this can still buy me a handmade tailored suit. This will buy me dinner at Taco Bell. I'll probably get diarrhea from it apparently now. So, buying power protects it. Whatever you pay for, whatever you get, that's what you're protecting. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system while you can. That'll be the big helper, the helpy-do. All right, so we've got craziness going on here in Hollywood. This always bothers me when I see water mains that are broken, because we always cry in this state about not having water. I hear it.
We're back now with a Fox News alert, and you are looking live at a massive water main break in West Hollywood, Los Angeles. The major flooding, just look at that, turning roads into rivers. Los Angeles County Fire is on the scene. Multiple streets were closed down, including major roadways like Santa Monica Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard. An investigation into this incident is ongoing, but not something you see every day in California, especially right before rush hour traffic is set to begin. Guys, over to you.
That's literally from a water main break. It caused some serious flooding. It filled in a bunch of car garages. A lot of the garages in LA, they're gated and they go underground. Yeah, those completely filled up. Completely filled up. You had cars in there, underwater. Think about all the people that drive Teslas. Yeah, every single one of those isn't going to work anymore. Ever again. Guaranteed right off there. So huge torrents of water. This is Wait, we're getting breaking news. In fact, there is... Oh, wow, that's interesting. So apparently there's a rash of seals and dolphins that are now reporting AIDS, because apparently the streets have washed off all the AIDS onto the beach, out into the ocean, and now we've got AIDS on the dolphins and seals. That's... and apparently the pharmaceutical companies, we don't know which one yet, but they're still trying to get a return on calls. They've apparently made a vaccine, an anti-AIDS vaccine for seals and dolphins. California's going to spend trillions buying them. Of course, that's bullshit. I hope you know that. Yeah, water main break, floods Hollywood. It's not good. Yeah, it's a mess. There's some of the garages. This is before I think it actually filled up. But yeah, the underground ones, no bueno. No bueno. Fetterman is drawing the line for the Democratic Party, says he will leave if the Democratic Party abandons Israel. So he's probably saying he's going to leave the party. I think we all know where this is all heading, right? South Carolina schedules a special GOP primary for Graham's Senate seat. It's going to be happening August 11th, their special primary. Not sure who the person is. I pray to God we're definitely directly involved. We should be. And I hope Trump is trying to get someone really awesome in there. And I hope he lets us know who that person probably should be, because Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing. So we'll see. I hope. Pray to God we got a little bit of time to figure it out. Otherwise, we're going to end up with one of these monkey dicks. 3 Wisconsin Democrat governor candidates say they would veto any anti-Sharia legislation. There you go. There you go. Oh, commies amongst us. And they're on all age groups, all colors. I mean, it's all races, even the wonderful Asians. It's so unfair. Bill Maher, he was on, I wanted to cover this, Slams Public Radio, Extreme Far Left. Yeah, it's worth playing. And he did. He actually kind of hit him a little bit hard. And there was a bunch of stuff Bill said that I wanted to play, and I was kind of like, why are you giving Bill so much airtime? So I'm going to give Bill a little airtime. He was going to get way more. So I tapered it.
Your audience is going to love this, by the way.
The audience is a little more diverse than you might think.
Really?
But sure, some people...
I mean, I'm surprised you even had me on. Because I just think of this place is so different than what it used to be, and like I would, what I always want people to do, but it's so hard to get people to do these days, is just engage with the argument. Mm-hmm. You can hate me, whatever, for whatever your reasons. I'm too old. I'm whatever I am. Are you engaging with the argument? Tell me if I'm wrong about something, and then we're going to be cool. But that's not what either extreme does in this country anymore. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think of this place as like on the far extreme of the left.
Well,
but I could be wrong.
Maybe there's a little more variety in who we talk to than you might have been told.
Who you talk to is different than like what people believe. Mm-hmm. Are there beliefs that the audience can be, examine? They say, I think that's a good point. Maybe, or is it just like, no, it does not conform to the one true opinion. So, it's.
Well, I'm with you. We want to hear all kinds of people, and we go out of our way to do it.
Great.
And
you heard the term beliefs, right? I've said beliefs, and you guys that watch me all the time, beliefs. Beliefs are a funny thing. When I was in the court thing, that was exactly what they were looking for when it comes to biases. Beliefs. What are things that are ingrained in you that'll disallow you, essentially, from experiencing other parts of things? And that's really what it is. The second you've got your mind made up about something, you've just eliminated a whole slant of stuff. That's, frankly, all it would do is just help enhance your understanding of the thing that you've got a firm, strong feeling about. Again, it's cool to be having a strong feeling about things. It's another thing to have an extreme belief or one that's just removes anything else from being possible. I do think it's important because we are going through a transition, and I think all of us are going to find out that things are not what we thought they were. And that's going to continue, and that's going to exponentially continue. We're going to get into very uncomfortable places within a number of times, and this is why a lot of the Project Bluebeam stuff is going on right now, is because that direction is heading this way too. So it's going to be tricky for a lot of people. Argentina defeats England in the FIFA World Cup semifinals. They're going to face Spain on Sunday. So it's amazing. Argentina and Spain. Argentina with Maradona back in the day, and they have been a strong team. Brazil used to be a strong team. I don't know where they got booted out, but White House officials asked to turn over phones to investigate into this Air Force One security leak that happened. So somebody close to Trump leaked this, and it sounds like that's what they got when they questioned all the people at the New York Post, I think it was, or New York Times, whichever it was. I think New York Times. So somebody in Trump's inner circle is big, giant piece of shit. I don't know if they're going to tell us who, but here's what I think we're going to hear in the next little short period of time. Someone in Trump's relatively inner circle is going to be moving on to other locations. They may stay in the administration, but they will definitely move jobs. It's coming. It's coming. We got a little bit more. J.D. Vance here. He's talking about the Epstein stuff and whether they were tied into Mossad. And I don't know. He just got very comfortable with this conversation. You tell me, what do you think?
Well, most people think he was Mossad.
Yeah, Mossad or CIA or some other deep state, whether in America or Israel or another country, or both. Look, he clearly had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence.
Uh-oh. Ah, sweet. Sometimes it's okay if you let people think things and you continue down that, and some people think, and you can continue. You're not confirming or denying. You're not doing anything along those lines. So he's not outside of his obligations in any way, shape, or form. He was continuing with the conversation. And yes, some people think this, that, and the yes, you're right. That is what some people think. Very smart. And again, it's a great way to say things and have some deniability, right? U.S. just passed the Save America Act. It's attached to the must-pass national security legislation by 217 to 209. Must pass, huh? I don't think anything's a must-pass. We'll see. We'll see if the Senate can pass it. Let's see if they've actually got 50 senators that can pass this. As I stare at the camera that you can't even tell. President Trump announced a plan to replace illegal immigrant truck drivers. Let's hear his words.
And because we're here in Pennsylvania, where State Trooper Michael Farrow was killed just 2 weeks ago by an illegal alien operating a semi-truck on a commercial driver's license, which he should never have had. He was here illegally, came in through Biden. Today, I'm making one more important announcement. My administration will soon take historic action to get illegal alien truck drivers who are just killing a lot of people. They can't read signs. Many of them are on drugs or alcohol, and they shouldn't be driving these things. And they came in totally illegally, and we don't want them, but they are driving all over American roadways, and we're going to replace them with proud American veterans. We're going to take our veterans, we're going to teach them a lot about driving trucks, and in many cases they know. We're going to say any American who's driven a heavy truck for our military will automatically be eligible for a commercial driver's license. So we're going to get them taken care of.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting discussion tonight. I am very much looking forward to it. Going to stream it live. Of course, got the live show beforehand. Something I brought up, I looked up, I found, I don't know, it all really ultimately ties into, I don't know where the story is. Dang it. I thought I had it over here. Maybe didn't move it when I moved the other ones. But there was a story where they were showing this new weapon they've got. It's like a spherical thing. It's got a bunch of holes in it at different angles around it. I've got it somewhere. I'll show you the picture when we get there, and you'll be like, oh, okay. And it's supposedly got a barrel that's pointing in every direction. But it made me think, and the size of it, I'm like, this can't be that great. The barrels have got to be really short. Not sure what they're shooting. It made me wonder a lot of questions. And, of course, I've asked before, like, electromagnetic pulses, can they be directioned? No, not really, not well. They can kind of, sort of be, but they still sort of go a broad area, and they kind of spread past the point of your reflection, so they'll start to spread from there. So that does create a larger problem. So you can't just blast an EMP and not cause, like, the whole downwind set of lights to go out also, right? Like, all of a sudden, nothing works in people's homes, and it's not like they can just flip the breaker and go back. No, your electronics are fried. Anything that was plugged in is broken now. It needs to be replaced. It'll never work again, ever. That's how EMP works. It's not like your lights go out like your power went out for the house. No, it fucks everything up. Even stuff that's got little trickle power in it, fucked up. Anything. Surge protector's not going to stop it either. Almost guaranteed. So that doesn't work. And I started thinking, I'm like, well, what about microwaves, right? Because lasers are very focused. You got to focus them at a point of intense energy, and then heat, and it takes a second, but they kind of work. But they're very distance-oriented. So lasers are tough. They require a focal point. Very tough. And I was thinking, like, I was wondering, I'm like, do microwaves need that? Or can you just do a beam of microwave, like, just shine a beam of microwaves and maybe be okay? So it caused me to ask some strange questions, right? So directed energy weapons. It gets into lasers and all this crazy stuff. And I did down in here, it did say, let's see, unlike weapons that fire, no, it's down here further. So, It had to do with the frequency. So let's see. How opportunities complement challenges. Complement to conventional weapons dues or use energy fired at speed of light, making them faster and potentially less costly per shot than missiles. Some dues have virtually unlimited ammunition and can fire as long as they have power. Ease of graduate response. Department of Defense can tailor dues to meet mission needs from non-lethal to lethal responses. For example, the longer a laser is focused on a target, the more damage or destruction will occur. Advancing other uses, research and development for dues could also benefit civilian uses. For example, the development of higher energy lasers could help project that use directed energy to transport or beam power to remote or disadvantaged locations. They've done that also when it's come to creating, moving power and being able to remotely charge stuff. They've done that in some fun ways with remote directed energy weapons. There was a part in here I thought I had highlighted, but anyways. There are, each due is different spectrum, electromagnetic spectrum. So we got, high power microwaves fall into a different level, and then millimeter waves. These are the ones that actually can bypass any sort of Faraday response, certainly. They get into the the longer wavelengths. And this was something that I actually found. Faraday cages only work for certain frequencies. They do not block low frequency magnetic fields. They block higher frequency magnetic fields. They block higher frequency millimeter waves, if you will. So the higher frequency is usually up in this level, right? Much higher amounts of more waves per millimeter, if you will, versus down here where one wave could take a meter. So it's a long wave. It's very long, in fact, right? That's a full cycle. And so it's a different kind of energy wave. Those waves are not blocked by a Faraday cage. Faraday cages don't work for that. And I was like, that's interesting. Is there a way to block those? Yes, there is extra blocking that you can do to block whether or not something has the low frequency blocking. And they call it mu metal. And mu metal, or mu, the Greek character, it's a soft nickel iron ferromagnetic alloy with very high permeability, which is used for shielding sensitive electronic equipment against static or low frequency magnetic fields. Now, the reason I bring all of this nonsense up is this seems to be the sweet spot. Or if not, they're not really shielding these things from all frequencies. So just because they're maybe flown with fiber optics does not mean they're shielded. They have electronics. Even if they have a Faraday cage, even if they wrote a basket around it, it actually has to do with the size of the basket. So if it's a big basket, lot of space between the metal, it's frequency-wise, you can get through that. That's not that hard. If it's smaller metal, makes it harder from a frequency standpoint to get necessarily through it, but you come in from a lower frequency or even some other different ways, and now all of a sudden you need extra shielding. Well, how much are they going to spend per drone? Now you've got to shield this thing in multiple ways. They're not doing that. These things are cheap. There's no way they're wrapping them all in nickel iron ferromagnetic alloy. I'm sure this stuff's not easy to find, first off. Any place it's created, I bet you they're not just giving it away. So they are able to stop drones. The problem is there's downrange damage that could maybe occur. Could be hard on the people. You could be getting some of that Havana effect type stuff when you're using energy weapons towards things. Is that worth doing? Maybe. If it was a severe attack, probably. It's one of those things where if people live nearby, they're probably going to have severe pain or noise or something, right? It might, it hurts my ears. It might be extreme for a second and then stop. And then people will just be like, what just happened? It'll be related to some sort of anti-drone thing. This is the new world that we're living in. And so I think a lot of us have to kind of prepare for that to a degree. U.S. forces use Hellfire missiles. Those words just like U.S. could be us, right? So that fucked with me. Forces like forces them to do something, or our forces use U.S. use. Anyway, this is horrible. This fucked with my brain so much. This was not good for me at all. Yeah, not happy with you, Gateway Pundit. Fuck you. U.S. forces use Hellfire missiles to disable oil tanker sailing towards Iran's Karg Island. Yeah, they did it from a drone, too. They're very capable missiles. Fantastic, in fact. Trump drops the 20% Strait of Hormuz reimbursement fee. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a really tough one to sell. It's like, yeah, no, Iran can't get money for people that go through the strait, and only we can. Like, wow. Let me put my crown on, make sure it's straight for everybody to fucking turn my camera on. Windows. They did an update a while back. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. It's annoying as hell. It's just requiring me to get used to clicking things twice. Ugh. DHS mandates body cams for ICE agents following the driver shootings. I thought they already did this. Don't you guys remember stories way back? Like, back when Kirsty, what's her face, or whatever her name was? Well, the cute lady, right? Non-Asian cute lady that was in charge there. Used to be governor or whatever the shit. That chick. Yeah, whatever her name was. Swear to God, we turned on the body cam thing back then. Maybe that was Border Patrol? Maybe that's what that might have been Border Patrol. That might have been after they got rid of that one dude. Maybe that was what it was. I don't know, whatever the case was. I guess now they're going to have cameras on. Okay. Obama appointed judge halts U.S. visa restrictions on disinformation gurus accused of censorship. This is awesome. This is Judge, is this Boasberg? Boasberg's going to hop into our life today again. I don't know if this was Boasberg or not. Nah, this was Boasberg. This is so retarded. So the administration's policy likely burdens the speech of non-citizens. Non-citizens don't get constitutional rights. This is something that's blowing my mind. Non-citizens don't get constitutional rights. You don't get to come into this country and preach bullshit. Fuck you, James Boasberg, Your Honor. With respect, fuck you. Hey, people don't like fuck yous, and flipping people off too. Oh, it's amazing how much that pisses people off. It really cracks me up. Very funny. Dozens of New York City buildings contaminated with bacteria, spreading deadly disease. This is that Legionnaire's disease. Sounds cool. So Legionnaire, is it like a French disease? Does it make you French? Does you start to smell? It'll kill people. I shouldn't joke, but it's happening a bunch in New York, probably because it's so hot. And they got cooling towers, which they use for the air conditioning. And I guess if the cooling towers get nasty, which they seem to, then they start to spread Legionnaire's disease to everybody that lives within that building. Well done. Gotta love New York. Well done, Mondami. Legionnaires, they're living for free. You can lower your numbers for the homeless, right? Because all the Legionnaires' microbiomes are alive and well, living happily. They have homes. Todd Blanche suggests he's going to investigate and prosecute Jack Smith for all of his nonsense, stupidness. Makes me think of Jim Carrey with poopy pants. I swear I'd love to see one of these politicians call somebody poopy pants. It would be the funniest thing ever.
I want to start with Jack Smith and the latest revelations of his illegalities, which seem to have no end. I mean, listen, I've had my text messages, by him scooped up, read. Who knows what he did with them. I've had my cell phone monitored. He tracked my incoming calls, my outgoing calls. He tracked my metadata. He tracked my location. I mean, Lord knows what else. The part that really offends me, though, is that he didn't just do it to me and members of Congress. He did it to ordinary Americans. I've had Missourians come to me and say, I had FBI agents show up at my door, knock on my door and say, were you in Washington, D.C. in January of 2021? These are people who did nothing wrong. They weren't even here. They come to me and they said, what is going on? What am I going to do? I can't afford an attorney. What really gets me at the end of the day is he lies about it. I mean, he has lied and lied about it. And I want to just make good that claim. Here is a record. I'm going to read it to you. A record of Jack Smith's responses under oath now to members of Congress. He is asked, question, as it relates to members and their staffs and senators, it's just the toll records as far as you remember. Smith, that is my recollection. Question, did the records that you requested include the content of text messages? Smith, answer, no. Now, maybe there's some nuance I'm missing here, but it sounds a lot to me like this guy didn't tell the truth. Have you thought about investigating this guy for perjury?
We take testimony in front of this body very seriously, yes.
Good. Well, I think he absolutely should be investigated. I think he absolutely should be prosecuted, if at all possible. And based on his responses under oath, I think he should be. And I think it's time that we say that these people who did this, who engaged in this mass illegality, blatant violation of separation of powers, blatant violation of the Constitution. We know what they did to President Trump. We know what they did to everyday innocent Americans. And that's before we even touch the issue of trying to recruit spies into Catholic parishes, sending members of the anti-terrorism division to go hound parents who went to school board meetings. It's unlike anything we've ever seen in American history. And my view is there needs to be accountability for it. I hope that you will investigate Jack Smith for perjury, and I hope that possibly you'll prosecute him.
Yes, Senator.
Word. There you go. That's pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy indeed. Indeedy do. Trump's firing new Seattle prosecutor less than an hour after he takes appointment is another one of those things where the judges put in somebody they wanted. Trump immediately fired him. So that's how that works. I wanted to do a quick commercial, but I want to show you guys what I've done with the... So I've told you guys I have the single one. All the single ladies, all the single ladies. So this is the big giant single one. I think I showed you this, right? This came out pretty good. It's 2 colors, though I had to change colors in the middle of the print. And I thought they were both the same color. One was silver, one was gray. And anyways, they look the same on the outside. Anywho, so this came out really good. I was like stoked, like for a single color. But, like I've said before, the thing that I really wanted to be able to do was the multicolor. Now, this thing's a little squirrely. I haven't glued it together yet. I'm still working on getting the right pin lengths. Look at this. Look at this. That's backwards. Fuck. Let's see if I can turn it without causing... go on without me. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. How cool is that? All right? So anyway, there's all separate parts. Still working on getting this pin properly through the middle. Right now, I've got to do it from both sides because if I have to take a drill to get this hole properly squared out on the microphone, it's not quite correct. Anywho, yeah, very cool stuff. So, yeah, we're making progress. I don't know where to put this. I'll put it down here for now. Oops. Go on without me. Just lost pieces. Let's not worry about that in the middle of recording because that's not okay. Yeah, it's exciting. And, yeah, maybe one of these days I'll be able to get them out. When I get it glued and finalized, I'll show it to you guys. I want to take a Dremel to it and see if I can clean it up a little bit. That said, actual commercial. Feel bad. Healthy Home. They got great products. Help your stem cell count get up. Stem cells are the ones that heal your body. That's what you want to do is increase those numbers. This doesn't put stem cells in yet. It causes your body to create more stem cells itself. There's the capsules. There's the gel. And they actually have it for your pets as well. It's about half the price. So it helps your pets the same way. But these are your healing cells. These are the cells that can become any other cell. Balance is one that's literally bringing balance into women and young women's lives. Women going into that or coming out of the baby-making phase of their life go through a very trialing time, it seems. Best most of us outsiders can tell. I've talked to some ladies. They've said some of them, at least that are on hormone replacement therapy. One of them liked it. One of them doesn't. Both of them found balance made a huge difference. The one that didn't like the hormone replacement, balance is taking care of the problem. She's no longer got an issue. It's a lotion. You put it on your wrist. You rub your wrists together, and within seconds, you already start to feel better. And it literally is plant-based. There's no hormones in it at all. It's changing women's lives. You want to go to TWC. Whoops, that's not it. You want to go there too, but you want to go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. I'm a mess sometimes. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Also, Prime is just incredible. It's nitric oxide activator. It actually just gives you more energy. It causes your blood to carry more oxygen. You won't notice it per se, except when you're doing stuff and you're not as tired as you normally would be. That's when you notice it. It's the nitric oxide booster. It causes your blood to carry more oxygen. You're going to dig it. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's healthy choices. Or heal thy home, they call it too, which is very cool. But yeah, healthy choices make you stay alive longer. Well, it helps anyways. Asymmetric warfare is the big boom these days. What's funny is a lot of the companies that were big companies, deep state companies, aren't the ones getting a lot of these contracts, is it? No, it's a lot of these smaller companies that have some brilliance and are able to move quickly, unlike the bigger companies. Boeing still can't give us the stupid Air Force planes for the president. Like, it's insane. I mean, I hope to God they're like literally like we're spending gobs of extra money to finish those, because that would be the best thing Boeing could do, would be to finish those rather than let the Qatari donated aircraft help or be the one that gets the points. I mean, it's just insane. So, whatever. Yeah, all sorts of drones, and they're trying to make millions of them, and blah, blah, blah. Yes. Also, everybody's fighting these data centers. These data centers are going to be key. You can't have AI operating at any sort of scale at all. And I don't just mean the AI that's going to take over the world. We're a far cry from that, by the way, when it comes to the amount of data centers. But I mean, all the self-driving cars, all the fact that Amazon's going to be flying stuff that's not going to be paying attention. It's going to be AI-driven, which is going to be a little scary for a while, by the way, while they work out the bugs. Shit just falls into your backyard, and you're like, well, Amazon packages just fell into my backyard, and they were cool. Frankly, I got a new watch. Look at this. Check out my new watch. Right? Like, I don't know. If it falls, as far as I'm concerned, if you fall into my land, God gave it to me. Yeah, I'm just going to say it was delivered. Stork brought it. We're going to need AI for a lot of these things. We're going to need AI for all the companies that are using it to do a number of different tools and tests and things. And so this is going to require data centers. Data centers require power. Power is needed for the rest of us as well. So for the most part, we should benefit from the power thing that we've been having our states fudge us all in the backsides for a long time. So our infrastructure's a mess. This is what this story's about in general, but our infrastructure's a mess. They're basically spending some money to start trying to repair, certainly, or at least our natural gas infrastructure, which the national government's going to care more about than necessarily your local infrastructure, because that is tax money that's been robbed for years, and you need to get pissed about that. Key takeaways from DNI nominee Jay Clayton's confirmation hearing. Yeah, nothing big. Anyway, it was supposedly a tough hearing. Just all the shit that you would think they'd be pissed about, January 6th and elections and who won the elections. Just fucking stupid shit. Anyway, unhinged woman goes nuts. Vandalizes a tribute to fishermen after she mistakes this rope for a noose. Now, the funniest part, and this is the retard here. There you go. Nice tongue, though. She's probably making... I bet she's quite the lesbian. Quite the lesbian. And I guarantee she's a lesbian. I would have zero doubt of that in my mind. But she could lick that thing from across the room. Across the room. Anywho, she saw this as a noose. Anybody that knows, well, knots, first off, which I'm not a big knot guy, but I've made a noose before. That's an interesting knot. I am not a fisherman by any stretch, so there's a whole bunch of crazy knots that you learn when you're a sailor. Because you need shit that's going to, like, work. And then, in fact, in some cases, the tighter it ties, the more it pull it, the tighter it gets, right? Like, there's certain, I know a few. I know a couple fishing ones, and I know very few knots. Otherwise, I'm just like a retard like everyone else and just keep doing it over and over, but that's not really a good knot. This is not a noose, but she freaked out because she's... Did I say retarded already? I don't know. I don't know how many times she's... Is there like a speed limit for how many times you could say retard? I know everyone says you shouldn't say it at all. I find that to be boring. Yeah, it's like saying you can't drive faster than 5 miles an hour. That's... What? I don't even think my car can idle that slow. No. Can't make me just drive with my foot on the brake the whole time. Are you kidding? What is happening here? No. Anyway, California, they're being slow to bring back the concept of standardized testing. And many people are giving them a hard time, which they should, but giving them a hard time, like, you're dragging your feet, blah, blah, blah. No, the reason they're dragging their feet is because the high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools have all gotten rid of this testing, and we've got literally an entire pipeline of idiots that wouldn't be able to pass this testing. No one will ever get into college again, well, with the exception of the small percentage of people that are smart enough, and we might actually go back to the days when college meant something. Only smart people went to college back in the day. Now, anybody goes to college. I've met people that are like, huh? What'd you study? Humanities. What'd you study? Philosophical bowling ball feelings. No one knows. George Maloney, she almost got the swamp out, tried to get new election law reform in place, and it failed to pass by one vote. I guarantee you there's about 5 or 6 votes that would have kept it down, but only one person had to fall on that sword. So the one that wants photos with Trump isn't working hard enough to fix her country. I think it's pretty much what Trump is telling her. Fix your country before we take a fucking photo op. Otherwise, get out of here. I ain't got no time for you. So she's back to what it's supposed to be, which is fix your country. It's hard. Take a picture with me. Get a selfie. Oh, you got to get it from up high, though. You remember that. Trump announces Iran's release of wrongfully detained woman as a gesture of goodwill. Apparently, Iran gave us back somebody that I don't even know if we were asking for, but they gave her to us. I don't even know if we want her back, frankly. I don't know anything about her. I didn't look anything up about her. It's cool. Yay. She's an American woman that was wrongfully detained. Cool. She's back, and that's fantastic. And I'm not trying to play it down in any way, shape, or form, but at the same time, I'm not trying to play it up either. CENTCOM, they confirmed that they're conducting more military strikes. Well, this is through this week. This was Monday. Is that really that old, the story? Isn't that interesting? Ukraine intensifying attacks on Russian tankers now in the Black Sea. So they're just attacking random Russian tankers, which is weird, I guess, but maybe Russia owns them all. Their tankers are really easy to friggin' target and blow up. I don't know what Russia's going to do about this. I think this war should stop. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're just going to try really hard and finish the war, or if they're just going to continue to take it in the nuts, right? Just kick me in the nuts one more time and see what I do. It's like, you threw up 4 times already, man. You want me to do this again? I can take it. I'm Russian. All right, I'll do it. I aim to please. French right-wing leader Marine Le Pen. Her poll numbers have surged, much like Donald Trump's did after they arrested him. You almost got to wonder if they do it on purpose or if this is just like, fuck, it did the same thing. Well, maybe they know not to arrest people anymore. It happened with Bolsonaro and Brazil. I don't know. It feels like it's a guaranteed way to make somebody famous, right? Put them through some crazy arrest. And I'm happy not to be that famous. I'm cool. I don't want to go through all that. I've been through enough in my life to, it's cool. I don't need to be famous, that's for sure. 200 Ukrainian drones been launched towards Moscow. Again, this is what got me thinking about the whole drone thing. Oh, this is where that picture's going to come up next. I finally found it, at least. But this is what got me thinking about the whole, how can they defend themselves? This is stupid. You know you're going to get attacked by drones. You know you're going to get attacked by these itty-bitty lean carrying a grenade on it. Like, what do you do, right? You could send thousands of these. So the real question is like, how do we have to be able to defend whether it's 1, 10, 100, 1,000,000? There's got to be a button you hit that's for the 1,000,000, right? Blah! Everyone's power goes off. Fuck it. It's not like they got another 1,000,000 drones they can send. This is a shit ton of drones. Not to mention, if you've watched one of the parades or I want to say fireworks shows, but the drone light shows that like China's done a bunch of these, are very good at it. But you also notice a bunch of those things just fall from the sky. They have some redundancy baked in because a lot of those drones don't make it. So again, the numbers, like anything that you've ever probably purchased from China, sometimes it just doesn't work. That's not uncommon. So here's the thing. This has supposedly for every hole, there's a barrel. Which is where I got, I'm like, well, that's as big as it is? So this somehow has a barrel, a projectile, a firing pin, a trigger, and it's somehow able to fire in all sorts of crazy directions at any given second accurately? Like, that's where I'm like, there's no way the barrels are long enough to be accurate. Like this thing, I don't know what it's shooting. It could be shooting Tic Tacs or Pez for all we know, and that'd be enough. It'd probably stop a drone. Just fucking a bunch of Pez at it. Be a shame because Pez is delicious, so I would hate to waste them. Especially once you get them loaded into the thing. You go to the pain of doing it. It's like, fuck, man, I pop them out. So good. So satisfactory. Anywho, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with that. We'll see. And finally, Joe Biden's publishing a memoir after his midterm elections called Promise Me, America. Yeah, this is his payout. I want to see what the sales are for the first week. He's going to be best book, several New York Times bestsellers list bullshit. It's just like his wife. This is another payout. Curious to see how many books they sell, and we'll break it down into the kinds of dollars that they're giving Joe Biden for giving up the country as best he did. Crazy times, because nobody's going to buy that book that gives a shit. Nobody is going to buy that book at all. A lot of fun. We got a lot going on, and I got a great live show. It's going to be coming up. Excited. We're also going to be streaming the president at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 Mountain time. The expectations are really high. This scares me always. I think it's going to be for the normies more than anything, so I do think it will be disappointing. But I think it'll be awesome because I want to see what he's telling the normie. I just bit my tongue. Probably a good way to, not hard, but slightly. Maybe it'll be better than we hope. Okay. Sorry, higher self. We are going to see something happen tonight, and I'll be streaming it live. If it's like really crazy, I might even hop on after. I'm afraid at how not sober I'll be by the end of it. It's oftentimes if I don't have to be on camera, it's okay to drink and have fun and just chat with people, and sometimes I just want to do that more than anything else. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm just hanging tonight or if I'm in work mode. This guy never was, by the way, Joe Biden. He was never in work mode. Well, if he did, he didn't know it. He'd do his weekend at Bernie's, man. They'd start the music and he'd just it's retarded. That's why he had to have the glasses on. His eyes were closed. Or he's busy sniffing the girl's hair or whatever. Anyway. Crazy. We're going to keep fighting this fight together. I love you guys. Thanks for making the ripples with us. Thank you for entertaining my nonsense. And, of course, where we go one, whoa, we go all. It is On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.